Welcome to another episode of Master Your Life, the podcast dedicated to helping you create positive changes that stick. I'm Anna, and today we're diving deeply into a topic that affects us all, habit change. To help us unpack this, we have behavioral psychologist Dr. James Thompson with us. Welcome, James.
Thank you, Anna. I'm really excited to discuss this crucial topic. Habits are the building blocks of our daily lives, yet most people don't realize how powerful they truly are.
That's so true. Let's start by defining what a habit really is. How would you describe it to someone new to the concept?
A habit is a repetitive behavior performed regularly, often subconsciously. Think of habits as mental shortcuts. They help the brain save energy by automating repetitive tasks. This automation allows us to focus our attention on more complex decisions.
Wow, that explains why habits feel so automatic sometimes. What triggers these behaviors?
Excellent question. Habits typically form through what we call the habit loop, which consists of three parts: a trigger or cue, the routine or behavior itself, and a reward. The trigger is the signal that tells your brain to start the habit. The routine is the behavior you perform, and the reward is the positive feedback that reinforces the behavior.
Could you give a more detailed example of this loop?
Certainly. Imagine you get a notification on your phone, trigger. You check your social media app, routine, and you feel entertained or connected. This loop creates a pattern in your brain. Over time, the notification automatically leads to checking your phone without you thinking about it.
That really puts it into perspective. So when someone wants to change a habit, what part of the loop do they need to focus on?
To change a habit, you need to disrupt this loop. That usually means identifying your trigger and then consciously choosing a different routine that still gives you a similar reward. For example, if stress triggers you to smoke, you might replace smoking with deep breathing, which can provide a calming reward.
What are some common challenges people face when trying to change their habits?
One big challenge is motivation. People often start with a burst of enthusiasm, but motivation can fluctuate. Another issue is inconsistency. Habits don't form or break overnight. It takes repeated effort. Also, environmental cues can make it hard to stick with new habits, like being around friends who encourage old behaviors.
That makes sense. How can someone maintain motivation over the long term?
A few key strategies help. First, set clear, specific goals instead of vague ones. For example, instead of saying, "I want to exercise more," say, "I will walk for 20 minutes every day after dinner." Also, track your progress. Seeing your improvements reinforces motivation. Another technique is using positive reinforcement, giving yourself a reward for sticking to the habit.
Can you explain what positive reinforcement looks like?
Sure. Positive reinforcement is giving yourself a reward to encourage good behavior. This could be a small treat, praise, or doing something enjoyable after completing your habit. It's important that the reward feels meaningful and supports your goals, rather than contradicting them.
How important is willpower in changing habits?
Willpower is important, but it's like a muscle that gets tired. Relying solely on willpower can lead to burnout and failure. That's why environmental design is crucial. Changing your surroundings to make good habits easier and bad habits harder to do reduces the need to use willpower constantly.
Could you share some examples of environmental design?
Absolutely. If you want to eat healthier, keep fruits and vegetables visible and junk food out of the house. If you want to read more, leave your book on your pillow or coffee table. If you want to stop using your phone at night, charge it in another room. These small changes reduce friction for good habits.
What about mindfulness? How does it help with habit change?
Mindfulness is about being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and actions in the present moment. This awareness helps you notice triggers and urges before automatically responding. By practicing mindfulness, you create a space to choose a better response rather than reacting impulsively.
That sounds like a powerful tool. How do you recommend someone start practicing mindfulness?
Start small. You can try a few minutes of focused breathing each day, or do a quick body scan where you notice how you feel physically and emotionally. Apps and guided meditations can help beginners. Over time, this builds your ability to be present and self-aware.
Let's talk about setbacks. What if someone relapses into old habits?
Relapse is normal and part of the process. It's important to not be too hard on yourself. Instead, analyze what caused the relapse. Was it stress, social pressure, or fatigue? Learning from these moments helps you prepare better next time. The key is to recommit immediately and not let one slip lead to giving up.
How can accountability help in this process?
Accountability means having someone or something to answer to for your actions. This could be a friend, coach, or even a journal. Sharing your goals with others or tracking your habits publicly increases your commitment and motivation.
Could you share some success stories where these strategies really worked?
Certainly. One client struggled with procrastination. We set tiny daily goals, just 5 minutes of focused work a day, paired with a reward like a short break. He tracked his progress and shared it weekly with a friend. Over months, this grew into a solid productivity habit, and he was able to finish major projects on time. Another example was a woman who wanted to improve her sleep. She created a calming pre-bedtime routine, avoided screens 1 hour before bed, and changed her environment by removing distractions. She practiced mindfulness to ease anxiety. These changes improved her sleep quality drastically.
These stories show how personalized habit change can be. What final advice do you have for listeners ready to start?
Start with small, manageable steps. Understand your triggers, design your environment, and track progress. Expect setbacks and be compassionate with yourself. Use mindfulness to stay aware and intentional. And remember, consistency over perfection leads to lasting change.
Thank you so much, James, for sharing your expertise today.
Thank you, Anna. Habit change is challenging but incredibly rewarding. I hope listeners feel empowered to take action.
And thank you to everyone tuning in. Remember, your life transforms one habit at a time. Take that first step today, stay consistent, and watch the magic happen.